What is up, Baggies fans, football fans, and sports fans in general, to a brand new video on the channel. And today it's a long-awaited Q&A. I was going to do it for 100 subscribers, and then we just absolutely took off. And now we're on our way to 300 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. It'd be amazing to hit 300 subscribers before my birthday in July, the 26th. So let's hope we do it. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know some future questions that haven't been answered in this question and answer, and I will obviously get through to those in another special, probably when we hit 500 subscribers, because you never know, that might be in a couple of weeks. Obviously, like the video as well. I appreciate every form of feedback I get on this channel. Now let's get into it. And the first question was asked by Below Average Game 87, and he asks my favourite Baggies player that I've seen play. Now, this is a tough one. Obviously, we've grown up with quite a good couple of players to choose from, but for me, although we only had him on loan for one season, it has to be Romelu Lukaku. Just how raw and quick and strong, and that season when we had him up front, I mean, the Man United game, the 5-5, wow, what a game that was. But yeah, so for me, gotta be Romelu Lukaku. Absolutely loved seeing him play, and he was just, it's such a shame that we never got him back that second season. He was flying back. He told the kit man to get his spot ready, and then obviously we never signed him, and he went off to Everton, and obviously had a great couple of seasons at Everton and got sold to Man United. So what could have been for us, we could have had him, obviously kept him for a few seasons and made some decent money on him. But yeah, he would probably be my favourite player that I've seen play. Obviously, you guys can get involved. Let me know who your favourite player is that you've seen live play. Astle 1968, which obviously my Uncle Jim asks, what was my first Albion game? Now, having a debate in the office about this, I seem to remember Uncle Jim taking me to WBA Portsmouth, The Great Escape, and that being my first game. I remember it quite vividly because it was the first time he bought me chewing gum. I wasn't allowed chewing gum from my parents, so he bought me some chewing gum. But I strongly remember that being my first game. The other game that comes close to memory as well was Middlesbrough in the Cup when it went through to penalties and we lost, and I didn't get back till midnight. Let's just say my mum was not very best impressed with that because obviously I've got school in the morning. But I think those two are probably the first two games that come to memory. And either one of those will be my first game. I strongly think it was a Great Escape game, but it could be Middlesbrough in the Cup as well. Who knows? Predictions for next season from Below Average Gamer again. Personally, I'd like us to be in the playoffs. Looking at the players we're sort of signing, obviously what we're being linked with at the moment, so which will be in a future video. I do think we'll push for that top six spot. I hope we do. It's going to be a tough season. However, there are a few clubs struggling financially, which could benefit us. And obviously, we're up against PSR this year, so we do need to sell some players to make sure we balance the books. But I do think we'll have a very strong season. I like Ryan Mason as a manager. I think he'll do great for us. He's young. I like the way that we're going signing players. We're getting a couple of experience, but then also bringing in the younger talent as well. And I think it will be a really good season for us. So top six in the playoffs, maybe it's the playoff final, who knows? But that's my prediction. Howlander Gaming, he's hit me with a triple here question. So the first question is, why is there no statue of Pulis outside the Hawthorns? I mean, my thoughts on Pulis were just, he did a job, didn't he? He kept us in the league, but the football was just absolutely diabolical. All we ever seemed to do was pump the ball into the box and score off set pieces. You know, that season that we were pushing for a European place, and then we seemed to hit 40 points and just stop playing football. I just, and then you could see the fans were just leaving and leaving and leaving. And I think at one point there was like 17,000 fans coming into the game just for his games, and that's how boring he was. Unfortunately, he was a dinosaur. He did a job. He kept us in the league. You can't argue with that. But I just don't think his football was that good. Obviously, 4 big across the back, and then try and pump it up to a big number 9. I really feel sorry for Rondon in that season when he was on his own up front. He literally did all the running on his own. How much do you miss Gibbs and Howlander? Kieran Gibbs was a fantastic left back for us, honestly. Probably one of the better left backs I've seen at the club. I would say him and Ridgewell are up there, to be fair. Stephen Reed as well. Fantastic servant. But yeah, Gibbs has got a bit of class about him, obviously coming through from Arsenal. You could tell he was a level above some of our players, and I think that's possibly why some of the games he probably went, I wouldn't say missing, but he seemed to go quiet because he'd make a run or make a pass that our players just hadn't cottoned on to yet. And I think that's probably why, he's probably gone under the radar a little bit for us. But I do think he's possibly one of the best left backs we've seen at the club. And his final question, which is a serious question, is if you could change your nickname, what would it be to? And obviously with the Baggies, Albion, anything like that. So if I did have to change it, I'd probably go something like the Frossels. Obviously, that's quite a poignant one for us. Obviously, we've got a Frossel on the badge. In the corner of the ground, there's a Frossel as well, where it used to sit while it was being built, and that's why that's there. So I think I'd probably go with the Frossels. Just a nice nod to our heritage, and doesn't completely blow up the radar. It's nice and calm, and I like that one, the Frossels for me. Next up, first ever game obviously which we've answered. Who is your club's hero? See my club hero. That's going to be Chris Brunt, I reckon. Obviously, favourite player that I seen was Lukaku, but a club hero for me was Chris Brunt. I remember being at home in the Southampton game where we drew 1-1 and he sent us back to the Premier League. Watching it with all my family, seeing that goal go through the keeper's legs and seeing what he did for us for many, many years after that. I went to his testimonial game with James Morrison. That was fantastic. And I think for me, he was our club hero and absolutely, absolutely adored him. Best memory at the Hawthorns. That's a tough one. There's been so many good memories. I would say the Spurs game under Darren Moore where we drew 1-1. My dad had just got up to literally start walking away as the ball went in. So I just remember almost like running to him, hugging him, and it was just that overbuild emotion that we could potentially stay up. Obviously, unfortunately, a couple of days later, Swansea sent us down. But yeah, I think that would probably be my best memory at the Hawthorns. That just initial, well, we could do this, and running and hugging my dad, and that goal going in. I think just everything connected that game, and unfortunately we didn't stop up. But yeah, late winner against Spurs that gave us a bit of a chance, and obviously that emotion with me, with my dad as well. That's probably my best memory. Obviously, you guys let me know what's your best memory of the Hawthorns. Best away fans. This is tough. I'm gonna go Leeds United. Um, I think it was under the Slavan Bilic season. I think it was. And I think the game was around about New Year's. I think we drew 1-1 with them, and I think we both went up that season, and there was just that, there was no animosity between the two fans. I think we both respected each other. Obviously, the previous many years ago, there was an incident where obviously we beat Leeds and it was an offside goal. But I think that game, I think two sets of fans just really sung and really enjoyed themselves. And Leeds always bring a massive following every time they come to our ground, and every time I go up to Ellen Road, it's always a great experience. Sunderland are an honourable mention again, very loud, and obviously they've gone up this season, so and Leeds as well. So I wonder who will be taking their place this year as the best away fans. What about you guys? What's your best away fans? Now, obviously, that's all I've got asked so far. But what I've done is I've just thrown a couple of random questions in just to make it up a little bit. Some general football questions, as well as obviously West Brom ones. So one of the ones is the best game you've ever seen live. And luckily enough, I went to a Barcelona Atletico Madrid game where Messi, Neymar, and Suarez were playing with Iniesta. That was fantastic. The Messi scored a free kick in. I've never seen someone strike a ball as cleanly as that. It just went up and over and curled into that top corner. Absolutely fantastic. Wow, what a game. So I think that's probably the best ever game I've seen live. Which player would you bring back in their prime? Romelu Lukaku any day of the week. Straight away in his prime, I'd bring him back. Is this current squad good enough for promotion? I reckon we are. Could get a couple more maybe players, and I think, you know, that's where we are, and I think we will be going up. I've got some personal questions. Why did you start the channel? Really, obviously there's a good couple of channels, All Things Midlands, West Brom Fan TV, that do their own content. And obviously I thought, well, there's a gap between the off season to the start of the season where these channels seem to go a little bit more on the quiet side. Obviously they create fantastic content during the season, but I thought there's a gap for us Albion fans and other football fans in the mid off season. So I thought let's create a channel. Obviously I'll be trying to vlog as many games, doing away watch alongs live on YouTube if I can't go to the game. So yeah, I think that's why I started my channel, just to give you that, gap. And I'm really passionate about West Bromwich Albion. Favorite video you've made so far? Probably the predictions video. Just because of it started to gain me traction for my channel. And obviously got people talking in their comments. Obviously some people disagreed with their position while some people agreed with it. And I think that seeing that sort of traction coming through my channel was fantastic. And I think that's really where, I started to think this could be good for me. What we got? Promotion or FA Cup win? For me, FA Cup win any day of the week. I would rather see my team lift an FA Cup than I would to see them be promoted. If we were stuck in the Championship for another 5, 10 years, but we won an FA Cup next year, I would take that hands down. Seeing the Albion lift the FA Cup, and obviously with an FA Cup win, you get into Europe as well, so it's a double bonus now, the FA Cup. You win a cup and you get into European football, which I just never in my wildest dreams would I imagine the Albion would be anywhere near that, so it'd be nice if we ever did. Other hobbies outside of football, obviously I've got a gaming channel as well. I play a lot of video games, so if you've not checked out Dynamite Harry, go over there and check that out. That's where I do all my gaming stuff separate from this. Favourite food or drink on a match day? Favourite food on the match day on the Brummy Road just before Astle Gate. It's usually there unless there's a Villa home game. There's a burger bar and they do loaded cheeseburger fries. They are to die for. With a bit of burger sauce on, they are fantastic. And that is all the questions we've got so far for this video. Obviously, leave some more questions down below for another special. Let me know if you answered any of the questions, what your thoughts are to them as well. And thank you very much for tuning in. Up the Albion, and I'll catch you in the next episode.